Today we are going to start working on the fiberglass repair on my Lotus Exige. At the last track day I got a little bit overzealous, ended up spinning and tapping the wall on the back end here, so you can see I've got a little bit of cracking, some paint flaking, and we're going to start taking care of that. To prep for this, I've already got the lights taken out, I've gotten the trunk carpet, padding, everything taken out, battery taken out, pretty much everything I possibly can. I'm gonna be swapping over exhaust and muffler, so I got some new stuff there that is going in. Probably didn't have to take all that off, but since I'm swapping anyways, new headers, everything like that, got that all taken off. Yeah, so what I'm gonna be using here, you can see I've got my DA sander with assorted grits of sandpaper, got some gloves, some metal tape, my little die grinder, and some die grinding discs. I'm gonna start off with that die grinder and go from there. From the factory, Lotus actually hand laid the fiberglass on these clamps for the Exige. The Elise, they did a molded method, but these are pretty strong and sturdy. As you can see, I tapped. All the structural integrity of the clam is still there, so it shouldn't be too bad of a patch and repair job to do. You can see the different layers I'm talking about. The top coat, the paint coat, you can see the primer coat there, and the gel coat underneath. We need to get all that off. A good amount of fiberglass, raw fiberglass around these areas, and then I can start patching away. Let's get to grinding. For this job, this is extremely important. You guys are gonna wanna have some protective gloves. These are some good ones I got from Harbor Freight. You're gonna want a mask, 100%. Especially when grinding, you don't wanna breathe in any of that fiberglass dust. That could be really bad for you. And you're gonna want some eye protection. So when I'm doing this, you're gonna want eye protection, mask, and gloves. I highly recommend to wear some long sleeves too. Even though it's hot out, it'll keep from that fiberglass from getting into your pores. So with my die grinder, I'm gonna start with this little 2-inch disc, kind of go around these areas here, get in the tail light area and clean that up for the bigger spots. And when I feather in kind of into the clear coat, or it's not a clear coat, sorry, feather into the gel coat and the primer and everything, I'll use that bigger 3-inch disc there. So yeah, here we go. By the way, this little McGraw grinder, die grinder, it's only like 25 bucks at Harbor Freight. So yeah, there you go. All right, so I've started grinding. You can see right here is exactly what I'm talking about. You want to see that raw fiberglass coming through. This is what we're going to want to lay it on when we're putting our new fiberglass mat. I'm going to go a little bit more. I'm going to go higher in here, but I just wanted to show you what I'm talking about with the different layers, how we're getting there. This is going to need some repair definitely in there, but also forgot to mention what I'm using is a 36 grit on my die grinder here. We're gonna go back like you can see, and I'm gonna feather this in when I have my DA sander and sand those out nice and smooth when we get to that point. Right now, we're just trying to clean this up so that we can get some new fiberglass on there, get it strong, then we'll start shaping it back up, make her look pretty. All right, there you have it. I think it looks pretty clean. Been grinding away for a few hours now. You can see where the cracks are exposed here, where I can start to fix that up. We got down to the raw fiberglass, pretty much all in the areas that need repairing, even a little bit over here on the side. All right, cool. Next step is to get that fiberglass mat and start going. Before I start laying down the fiberglass mat, I'm getting everything prepped from the back side. So all these cracks, everything you're seeing here, any of the holes, we need to make sure that we've got a backing on the back side in here. And I'm using this aluminum tape. So you can use your fiberglass resin. You can put it on here. You've got a backing to keep the shape, and then it's not gonna fall through and ooze out. You've got some structure behind there. Once it cures and everything, I can take this tape off, and then we're gonna do the inside as well as reinforcement. So we're gonna do the outside, take the tape off, do the inside. Right now I've left the clam on the car because as it's bolted on the car, it's helping keep its shape. So I can start to do this outside, get that good and solid. And then once I've got this good, I'm gonna take the clam off and probably get into these harder to reach areas, make sure I've gotten everything covered. So this is what the tape looks like from the inside. I've got it backed on all those areas where there's big cracks or holes coming through so that the resin won't seep through. So, all right, next step is to mat it up. So I'm laying out my fiberglass mat here. You can see I'm pre-prepping all the little pieces that I need, fraying the edges because that'll help with blending and also with strength and grabbing in. So I cut them off this big sheet into the small pieces. What you're gonna wanna do when I put them on is you put a small piece and then a larger piece over it and a larger piece over it in your certain areas to give that, you know, added few layers of strength. I'm gonna mix up my resin. Be careful to follow the directions on your resin. It's gonna come with either a liquid or a cream hardener, depending on the resin you get. Instructions tell you how much hardener to put with the resin when you're mixing. Follow that closely because if not, you may have a resin that doesn't set up, that will never get hard or gets hard too quick and doesn't give you enough time to work with. So let's mix that up and go. Okay, with your resin mix, you're gonna wanna take a cheap paintbrush and dab on some resin onto the part, the raw fiberglass right away. You're not gonna wanna use brush strokes, you wanna dab, actually push that in there, get that resin all over the part where you're wanting to put your patch. Once you get that on there, you're gonna take a piece of your patch, put that on, and then we'll put some resin over that and then coat it in there nice. You can see my first layer of patching already starting to set up. Looking pretty dang good, actually. Got in there, covered all those cracks and holes. You're gonna wanna get one of these as well, which is a fiberglass roller. You roll it over just to get all the air bubbles out. Once you lay down your fiberglass mat, this will take all the air bubbles out, keep it strong, you know, and make sure it's nice and smooth. So let's let that sit for a while and then we'll put on some more. I think I've got to go up into the tail area, up here a little bit more, but yeah, looking great so far. There we have it, guys. This is looking pretty dang good. So I've got a good several layers of fiberglass mat put on the back here. I think it's looking awesome. You can see the structure, all the cracks are covered up, all the holes. This is looking. This is set up for about 2 hours now. You can see everything is dry. It is nice and hard, very sturdy. All this where the cracking was, you can see solid now, all solid fiberglass. Next step is gonna be to get this clam off, and then I'm gonna start doing some more structural repair from the inside and underneath where some of that got scraped. But yeah, I think for this, like if you're doing this yourself, all you need to do now is start hitting this with the DA sander, sanding it down, getting it ready, and then putting some body filler over just to smooth it out and get those shapes. I'm gonna do that eventually, but like I said, I think I wanna finish with all the structural repair first from the backside. And yeah, stay tuned for the next video when we'll be taking off this clamshell. All right, thanks guys.